There have been a number of violent crimes in South Euclid in the past year. In September, there was an armed robbery at Five Guys and a shooting at Bexley Park just this week. So in addition to the violence, I think something that one of you mentioned, Walmart regularly deals with theft. Again, this week, including one where a woman actually set fire to a clothing rack and stole a bike. And in April, there was an armed robbery in the parking lot of Walmart. Do you think crime has increased in the city? Why? And what can be done to curb that activity?
Well, actually, crime is down in South Euclid, but you can point to, I mean, we have crime. I mean, yesterday, or was it the day before, we had the incident in Bexley Park. Mm-hmm. You know, there are gangs out there, and we don't really know what's happened yet because the people who were involved are not cooperating with the police. The police have interviewed the people who were involved. They, you know, there were a couple of young people who suffered gunshot wounds, and they were dealt with, but they didn't want to talk, as far as I know. And I don't know I don't have all the information. The police are investigating, but we know that the people involved aren't cooperating. So it's not one of those crimes. You know, it wasn't a random crime against a citizen. It was people kids, younger people, involved in their own issues, unfortunately, and that happens everywhere. It's not just South Euclid. The police were quick to get there. The police have been dealing with the situation, and unless the people who are involved want to tell the police who were the perpetrators, the police aren't going to know until they conduct their own investigation.
So let me ask you this: what can the city do to improve that relationship so people might be more willing to talk to them?
Well, again, these are, to my knowledge, and I don't have all the information because it's a fairly new crime, but this is not something, this wasn't a random crime. This was young people who are involved in some illegal activities who happened to be at that place and time, at that time. So, like I said, the police are investigating. It's not like, you know, someone who had been, you know, a victim of crime that doesn't want to tell the police what's going on. We have a very good relation. The community in South Euclid, the people in South Euclid have an excellent relationship with the police. We have community groups throughout the city with excellent relationships with the police. We have block watches in a lot of our streets. We have, tonight, the Bexley Park group is meeting with the mayor and the police chief to discuss that situation. Our community relations for our police are excellent, but we do have situations that come up, like the unfortunate incident the other night.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds, do you feel like South Euclid, I'm sorry, do
No,
you feel
go
like
ahead.
South Euclid has become more dangerous? Are these incidents more frequent? And what can the city do to stop them from happening?
I want to start off by saying I feel safe in South Euclid. I would not say that I feel like crime is going up so significantly. I think the relocation of Walmart made the police blotter a lot bigger. It basically transferred a lot of that activity from Cleveland Heights to South Euclid. But again, I do feel comfortable living in South Euclid. Incidents that happen at Bexley, I can't comment on because I have not heard all the details. So I don't see gangs walking around South Euclid. So again, I wouldn't stretch out and say that there's gangs in South Euclid walking around intimidating residents. But what I'd like to see the city do, I think when the safety levy came out and it was passed, it was marketed as putting more police officers on the street. Now, those dollars did go to public safety related expenditures such as pension, fire and police pension fund. Very legitimate costs. However, there's a savings on the general fund side that I would have liked to see some level of additional public safety on a personnel perspective.
Okay.
May I respond to that because I was the chair of the safety levy?
We'll take a minute for follow-up at the end of the 90-second answers. Mr. Fiorelli?
Is crime up or down? I think overall the crime is down. The police publish an annual report, and if you look at the statistics, especially major crime, it is down. Locally, though, when you look at Walmart, there was not a Walmart there a few years ago. It was a golf course. So any instances that occur now, it's going to give you an appearance that there's more, because police didn't have to respond to any situations at a golf course. I think we're moving in the right direction. I mean, the police are very responsive in being on site when someone does call quickly. I think that's a major deterrent to crime. We spoke earlier about the block groups. I think that's a deterrent to crime. When you have community involvement, people are less likely to do something that's not right. It's a very tragic situation that happened at Bexley. People have been working so hard to make the park as vital as possible. We are looking at legislation now that will allow people to walk their dogs, to invite more people, adults, to go through the park. There's going to be an investment of $100,000 in the swimming pool. The baseball and softball fields are doing well. I think the community is being very responsive. There was a very successful event there on Saturday. So it's partnering with the people that will work to help solve our problem, or make sure it doesn't get to be a problem.
Okay, Mr. Russell?
Yeah, Sarah, and I have to agree with Andre. One of the reasons why I selected South Euclid was that it was a safe community. It's a place that I would not have to worry about anything. And I personally run at night and get home late, and I just run at night or first thing in the morning. It's never a concern for me. But I think to your question of what can the city do to help either prevent those or be responsive to it, I think it's both those things. You have to do things to be preventative, but then if something does arise, make sure you have the forces available to address the situation. And I think I personally voted for the safety levy to ensure that our services stayed at the same level or better, because I knew that that's going to help maintain our community the way we like it. But then being preventative, we do the Citizens Academy, the police department does, to get residents involved, and what the police does, you can sort of be a part of the watchful eye in the neighborhoods. And this year was the first year, this summer, they did a Youth Citizens Academy to reach out to high school students. And so if you get more residents at being a part of being vigilant and being the eyes on the street to help, it's really a community policing effort. We have police officers who are trained and certified to do the work, but we all play a role in that. So if the city can do things to support the preventative end, and then also make sure that we have the forces necessary to address the issues that come up, I think that's the role of the city.